Just beans.
Hey there! So, Just Beans here, again with another video. So yeah, as you can see, I'ma do this thing now where I can hopefully give people advice on drawing stuffs that I have a keen grasp of now, and hopefully my knowledge and experience about this stuff will help y'all. Emphasis on the hopefully. So yeah, for today, I'ma teach y'all some tips on how to draw poses. So let's begin the bounds. So yeah, every artist or people who wants to draw stuff has a problem on how they are gonna draw the poses that they envision. Poses are really hard to do, believe me. Even thinking of a pose is hard because there's only a limited amount of poses that you can do to a living being. It only depends on your art style if you're going for a cartoonish, unrealistic approach, or if the being doesn't have anything that would break if it was stretched out unrealistically, like bones and muscles and stuff. So, when you think of poses, especially if you want to try a realistic approach, you better think of one that won't look like your body will break if you ever imitate that pose in real life. For example, look at this. Boy, if you try to imitate this, well, good luck in your bones, man. Hopefully you drank enough milk that your bones are sturdy as hell, mate. But sometimes in battle manga, anime, and animations and such, they use a thing that is called exaggeration, where they stretch out a body part so that it'll look like there's some movement or emphasis on force, or for it to look dramatic. So yeah, it just depends on what you're trying to do or what you want to achieve. So yeah, let's start with what I usually do whenever I draw characters. So first off, well, make an outline or a sketch of the pose that you'll draw to the character. So for example, let's try a sitting pose. So when I started using these things, guidelines or whatever you may call it, I first draw it in stickman so that I'll have a keen grasp of how long the body parts are, like limbs and torso and stuffs. So you can correct the length too if you ever think the length of some limbs are not very cash money. You know? Don't know why I use cash money there when I could just say right. So yeah. Then if I think of the stickman looks okay now, then I move on to the next phase, the adding muscles and stuffs, or making it look more human-like, sketching the body form, shape, and stuff like that, while aligning it to the stickman guide. And voila, like that. Then you can erase off the stickman part now, and voila, you have a statue-looking figure. Hey, don't judge, it's what I call it, alright? So yeah, after this, I then try to examine it if there's something wrong with the proportions and stuff, cause heck, best be careful than never, right? And try to correct the mistakes that I made. So it's basically just if ever you need help in drawing poses, best try drawing it in stickman form first, or use guidelines or whatever you may call it, so you can have no trouble with drawing the poses that you envision, because yeah, that is what it is used for. And hey, if you're having trouble with the execution of the poses, here's a tip. Try to draw someone that is doing the pose that you want to draw, or use reference image and such to practice, because that's how I got the gist of poses. It's I don't know, my head just got used to it all of a sudden. My hand. That's my explanation, I guess. So yeah. And hey, if you have trouble in having ideas for poses and stuff, try observing things, get out more and stuff, because how can you draw something without knowing how it looks at first, poses, objects, places and stuff. So yeah. Ooh. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Sorry if it's really confusing. I'm gonna try to summarize. It's just more on use guidelines to help you draw the desired pose you want. Try to get the ideas by observing stuffs or people, or just search some reference image, so it can help you practice. So yeah, hopefully it helped you all out. So yeah, and sorry if I hadn't posted that much because yeah, I'm busy with school. There's so much project. There's so much thing to do. Yeah, and I'm about to go in college. It's just so troubling, man. So yeah, this has been Jozu, and this has been Beans. So Jozu out. Peace.